okay, so if that was the case,
it's the only way to revitalize an entire fleet of cars is a conversion, because this internal combustion engine can burn methane with a different supply unit carburation unit on it. And so that's a way to rapidly retrofit an entire fleet of cars to be so fuel mileage. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, so it's the exact same thing with rockets in space. And the better nozzle, the better engine is basically giving you better or worse fuel mileage, or that has higher thrust, that truck does, than the car does. And so it's the same type of trade-off in space. Is like you're either going to have a lot of push and not very efficient with your gas, or you're going to have not as much push but super efficient, over the long term. So that thing will go further, it'll go faster, but this thing will lift more, right?
So real quick, I'm Joseph, and this is John. This is the Conversation Project, and the real purpose of this project, which hasn't been expressed in the 3 videos before, because it's a work in progress, and it's coming together autonomously. But what we're here to talk about today, wait a second, the project, what it's all about. This is to show everyday people interacting and having conversations about the fundamental things that affect all aspects of our society, because we seem to forget that we are members of that and that we have a voice. And this is exercising voice in all ranges and manners. And the reason I'm doing this is I was planning a YouTube project inspired by Joe Rogan. And so originally it was going to be me setting up my cooperatives and my business, but after this conference I realized that it needed to be more than that. I can do all that within this project, because these are all conversations that everyday people have. So John here contacted me through Represent.us, and why don't you explain what?
So Represent.us is an organization where it's focused on the democratic process and specifically combating corruption in the democratic process. And the way that it does that is by encouraging local communities to do local and state legislation that is against corruption, right? Against gerrymandering, improving voter registration, some basic things that can kind of a tide that can lift all issues and help everything that's in the democratic process.
So, and on my side of it, I probably 6-7 weeks ago, I hopped onto the Discord sites when I saw the video. And that was my action, was just getting there. And so what prompted you to contact me?
Well, so I got on Discord and I was like, okay, who are all the people in Seattle? And it shows the list of all the people that were online, and you were online, and there were a couple other people online, and I live really close to here, and so I'm trying to find the people that are already interested and get more people who identify with this purpose.
Okay, so what we're doing is they got a thing. If you go to the Unbreaking America video on YouTube, or you can go to my channel, which is in one of my linked videos, and thinking about changing the name, but it's in the file Focus Pitch, because it's all about the issues. Not only this, for me, I see Represent Us getting the corruption out of politics, able to really address the environmental crisis.
Absolutely.
And worst state scenario, getting Washington State's politics right. And that's how we got to focus on it, is state by state. Washington right, try to set a model up for other states to convert that way, So, center. We're going to try to set a watch party up over here, so he's taking a look at the center. So let's go over here. This is Miller Bay Estates, and I'm just talking to James in the neighborhood. He's working class community center right now, which is really nice. But this community up here is a perfect community for living building challenge, which is we would retrofit our current infrastructure into a more sustainable infrastructure, set up a community microgrid, so our community up here would be responsible for our own energy security. I think that not only could be like a power station for selling the excess energy from the community back into the grid for community projects. nice. So we have a playground so we can bring kids. Swing set. There's a play field. There's a grill. We can walk over there. I just can't film inside. I'll have a tour of this later. So I can bring one of my grills over.
Okay.
Or I'll probably buy a new one.
Unintended consequence.
Yeah. Right there. You can't see it from here. The kitchen, the refrigerator, stove, and all that.
Right.
One thing we'll have big party. Put a grill up right here, or a couple, or bring in a draft grill. I like charcoal.
Yeah.
Got a good fire of that, so I have a nice charcoal grill, or I can talk to my cousin and maybe have her husband bring it over.
Yeah. Tasty.
Yeah. So, and then we got the basketball court.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and what attracted you to the movement?
Yeah, I mean, I came home from work, plopped down on the couch, and I watched
Tell me
this
I'm
video.
not in the shot.
It was a YouTube ad.
You can back off. We got like 100 feet with this mic or more.
Oh.
It was a YouTube ad, and it just felt like the right focus, you know,
Right.
because I've felt passionate about specific issues in the past, and I felt disillusioned about the process in the past, and so something that's focused on the
Let's go sit on the
process,
deck.
something that's focused on the process is, and that also kind of jives with my engineering training as a systems engineer, where, you know, you're going to approach an engineering problem before you start looking at all the nuts and bolts and details. You got to think about your process of asking the right questions, how you answer the questions, how you document things, you know, how you make decisions based on data as opposed to, you know, feeling.
Right.
And so, yeah.
And you were at church this morning in religious duty.
Yeah.
Feeling.
Yeah, so I was at church today, and I was talking to, this friend of mine. I said, hey, what's going on? And he said, well, as a matter of fact, I'm going this afternoon, and it's, sometimes I feel a little shy about bringing it up, especially at church. People don't necessarily care, they don't agree, they don't want to talk about it, that's not what they're there for. But, on the other hand, Represent Us, it's I believe, such a broadly applicable and identifiable. I hope everyone loves America, at some level, at some degree.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's systemic problems. At my age now, just reflecting back to how I got to where I am now,
Yeah.
And even just for me, it took a while for me to even start voting again after I served in the military, because I figured I went to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the American way of life on a ticket up to including my life.
Yeah.
So
right.
I put my say in.
Yeah, sure. You put your fingerprints on it.
Right. And luckily I didn't have to go to an actual combat situation, but after that experience I dropped out, and it was around the edge of anarchist movement. That would be my political ideology, is anarchy. Yeah. That doesn't mean no rules. It just means no rulers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for a common party, it would be libertarians or something like that. Mm-hmm. Very fiscally conservative. We mind our own business, government. Smaller government, less government meddling, and all of that. And a while back, not only did I serve the country, I decided to vote again. So I've been casting votes regularly. And last election, I couldn't vote for either one of them. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I like, is the straight up and down tickets.
Yeah.
Because basically half the population doesn't have a voice, like me. I'm a voting person. I'm a member of the labor union, so that's another area where I can exercise my voice. And I think it was the studying of the labor unions that got me exercising my voice, and I'm not shy about it. I talk to everybody and try to make my interests relevant to their lives. And that's the whole aspect of this concept, is we're talking about it. Yeah. But we all don't know we're talking about it.
Well, and so I was talking to someone yesterday who's very strongly identifies with one end of the political spectrum and has been involved in candidates seeking office in the past. And one thing that kind of came up to me as an important differentiator with the Represent Us organization is that it's not promoting a specific
Want me to sit
candidate.
over there so you don't
Oh,
mind?
that's fine.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I'm a nicotine addict.
Yeah.
I broke down because this wasn't working properly. I'm
Oh.
trying to get actual cigarettes again.
Uh-huh.
And I'm trying to, because my doctor says this is probably better,
Yeah.
but I'm an addict.
Uh-huh.
Literally, like, you can't look at it, and nicotine's a drug.
Yeah.
I don't function nicely to people without it,
Mm-hmm.
so that's case addiction. But anyhow, you were saying?
Yeah. So it doesn't have specific candidates, right? So like, let's say that I wanted to run for office, and my only platform was to Represent Us anti-corruption laws.
Right.
Represent Us would not endorse me, even though the only thing I'm saying is that I support what they're doing, because Represent Us is all about changing the process and not any individual person,
Right.
right? Now, and I was listening to this training call that they did the other day where she was saying that we should interact with candidates and legislators and tell them things like, hey, we want you to end gerrymandering. We want you to increase voter registration. But just because I'm talking to you as a candidate and telling you that I like this bill and that I think you should say yes to it, that doesn't mean that I'm supporting you as a candidate. I mean, personally, I can go vote for that person, right? I can even encourage other people to vote for that person as an individual. But the Represent Us organization is all about the laws, the legislation, right? That hopefully all candidates would support, but because of corruption are less likely to support because, the whole thing is like getting money out of politics, and campaign contributions from special interest groups, and the gerrymandering that helps any particular candidate stay in power, as opposed to, represent the general groups. Like, let's say that you are going to vote for one candidate, your neighbor's going to vote for another candidate. They know that, and so they're going to draw a district right in between your house and your neighbor's house because they want to get you away from whatever block would be necessary.
It's the politicians picking their voters.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Right.
Instead of
Like
the
you
voters
said.
picking the politicians.
It's like you said, you're an engineer?
Yeah, yeah.
Which engineering? Mechanical?
Systems engineering was my title. So that's, yeah.
So that would be like a microhydro system.
Okay. Now I'm not familiar with those.
Because it's not a concept. It's something I've been working on, but I've actually started putting numbers down on paper. Like I got distracted, so I'm into the water crisis in Wild Wild West from the Living Future Industry Conference I went to. I'm still trying to write a paper for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's a paper, I guess it's a paper on a convention, but within a convention there's topics, so it's a paper on, I saw Carbon Conference the first day, 2 summits the next day, which was Living Building Challenge, and I can't remember the other one, and then like 4 groups the next day, and then 3 the next day, so it's 7 different sub-subjects within this whole overframe of sustainable development.
Yeah.
Which I don't like sustainable development, I like living development.
Mm.
It's the power of words and conversations.
Yeah.
Sustainable makes me think of subsistence.
Mm.
Like subsistence farming.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be subsiding. I want to be living.
Sure. Yeah. Thriving.
Thriving.
Yeah.
Power of words.
Yeah.
And transparency and communication and conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm distracted again.
Yeah.
Oh, microhydro. So we have fundamental water issues going on. In Colorado, it was water in the Wild Wild West. So I'm going into it and I'm looking at it, and in Hawaii, where I lived and the boys were conceived and all that, there was catchment water. That's how everyone gets their water. And I started thinking about that, and so that's free energy basically, because once that water is stored in a container, it's kinetic energy, it's potential energy, it has energy moving forward. And in the 90s, I was looking at alternative power systems through real goods, like solar panels, microhydro and all that, and so you need a head and compression, but it's really only 25 feet of fall that you need to generate energy. I haven't sat down and trying to figure out optimal distances and all that, but now with the hydraulic ram pump, not only can you create energy, but you can put some of your energy back uphill for future use.
Yeah.
With just the power of water, and the water fell from the sky, and all you did was put it in a tank.
Right.
So, I'm reading an article on the water crisis at reference for the paper I'm writing, and it's got to be the supply of water supplies 7 states of Mexico is Lake Mead. So Colorado River Basin. Colorado supplies 7 states and Mexico. But the way the water's happening, there's no snow there. So there's no snow in the mountains, there's no water in the lake. There's no water in the lake, there's no water to use. So Lake Mead has 29 million acre feet of water, which breaks down to like 325,814 point some odd things as an acre foot of water. So I figured out the math of what it would take to store that amount of water without building another dam, which is catchment tanks, right?
Yeah.
So it's 6.7 50,000 gallon catchment tanks is 1 foot acre of water. So it was like 684 50 gallon tanks for Lake Mead.
Yeah.
Without damming a valley.
How many?
600, I think that's what it is. Let me get my math. I got it written down, I had to take notes. It totally distracted me because the concept, my big passion is living infrastructure and this is my brain, part of it. So yeah, here we go. 29 million acre feet by 325, 851.427. So 50,000 gallons by 1 acre foot is 6.51.
Yeah.
So I rounded up to 7. So 7 times the 89, you need 89 acre feet to get 29 million. So 7 times 89 is 623 50,000 gallon tanks.
How big is a 50,000 gallon tank? How big is that pool?
Oh, that pool. So,
Just having a hard time, picturing that number.
My office, actually. So wherever I go at office size, it comes from 9 years in the infantry and homelessness and all kinds of fun stuff. But they're not very big, actually, because I built catchment tanks in Hawaii. That's a 50,000 gallon tank.
So 600 of these would generate. Wow.
623 of those is Lake Mead.
Yeah.
So with 5.61 million people in Colorado, you wouldn't need that. Just if everyone had catchment tanks and it was all tied together and hooked into the water system, they'd have more water and better water management.
Yeah.
And it seems like this is that conference I was at, and the conversations I had there, which I wish I would have recorded them, because literally gutter pump walks into world leaders, the Prince and the Pauper.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, I didn't realize how desperate the situation was. So now that I'm writing this paper, I haven't even finished reading the summary from leaders of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, but Washington State is abiding by the Paris Agreement. But what has to happen is rapid transformations across all aspects of society.
Yeah.
And you can't do that without political will behind it. And unless people have a voice that they can exercise, because like we can see it in our environment right now, Paradise. Class 5 hurricane every year, total communities being wiped out, droughts worldwide. If we don't make these changes in this next decade, We can't stop that shit. That's there. The only way we can get rid of that is geoengineering and cooling our planet. And they're talking about it. The world leaders outside of the United States are talking about a way to refreeze the ice caps right now.
Yeah.
You know, some sort of spray into the atmosphere creates a reflective shield to keep it a little bit cooler. I don't know, salt water. But what are the consequences of that action?
Right.
But, you know.
Unintended consequences.
And so this is the first actionable political plan I've ever seen. I've never been involved in politics. Because it's like anything.
Most people don't get involved in politics.
It's shouting into a dark room.
Yeah.
The size of like a stadium.
Yeah.
And hoping someone in a back janitorial kind of 3 floors down in the sub basement hears you.
Yeah. Well, so you know, and I told you earlier. I mean, there's so much that needs to improve.
Right.
But I said that my bar for success will be: is the meeting going to happen? Is this first meeting going to happen? And are we going to agree to have a second meeting? Right. That's what I want to do. I already agree.
Right.
But if I can get a quorum, right? If I can get a group, if we can get a group that says, "Hey, I'm going to show up on June 8th," and then once we're there, we say, "Hey guys, do we all agree that we think we can do something, right? And that we're going to try and do something, and let's get together on this other date, and maybe we'll have done some homework, maybe not. But the most important thing is that we get together." Because, you know, people say, "Oh, I'm not going to take action because I don't know what to do. I'm not going to take action because I'm not going to succeed. I'm not going to take action because whatever I do is going to make it worse than, you know, if I don't, you know, I'm not going to take action because someone else is taking action, right? I'm not going to take action because I don't know what to do." Like, there's so many reasons to not take action, but there's so much stuff to do that I feel like, you know, if we're doing something, and that's not to say that, oh, you know, anything is going to work, but if we're doing something, then it's like starting your car. You know, I want to drive across the country, but if I never start my car, it doesn't matter if I'm supposed to turn left or right at mile 500, because I never even started my car in the first place, right? And so, you know, I'd like a lot of stuff to change. I'd like it to be quick, and maybe it will be, but I'll be happy if I'm moving down the road. Because right now I feel like we're not even moving down the road, you know?
Well, that's kind of what this is the Conversations Project is.
Yes.
Social media is such a powerful element in our society right now. And so, and there's a bunch of people using it. We are here because of social media. Social media created this conversation. Yeah. And so another component of it is, I think in the second video or somewhere in there, there's access to my business email, anonymousglobaldevelopment@gmail.com, which allows, I'd like to see other people's having this conversation to share it. It's so many issues, and the whole society right now is so Orwellian. Just incredibly. I mean, they are twisting the talking points and using language as a hammer. I mean, they're having educated people design these things to confuse and divide with words. And not even intentional. Right now we have Alabama with its abortion thing right now, which they cannot enact into law, but it's a trigger law to get pushed it up to the Supreme Court, and then as soon as Roe v. Wade is gone, it goes into effect. Oregon just passed a trigger law, or is working on a trigger law for interstate cannabis sales. I think actually the cannabis movement is just about to hit that line on the chart and get federal passage, which would be beautiful because we go, look at that, look at that. We've been fighting that since Prohibition. And as soon as that is, there's a lot of pain and suffering. But anyhow, yeah, we need to get, this is to keep people focused, that everyday people are talking about this, you know, no matter how tired they are, this is
it's worth our time.
It's more than worth our time, because to meet the Paris Climate Accord and 10-year time frame, we need the America of World War II. We need the over there philosophy to step up. We need to recognize that we're all Americans, no matter who's here, we're all Americans, whether I agree with you or disagree or not, we're all in the same boat. And if we don't come together as a country, America may not last another 100 years. It'll just get taken out. I mean, they're saying this is we're in the 6th mass extinction event on the entire history of the planet.
Yeah.
But this one could take modern humans down with it. And that gets us back to politics. So,
Yeah.
I was on Discord. I'm glad I'm there because I have another text app I've used for almost a decade now, and it really is a good way to communicate.
Yeah.
And I like the Discord server. I think it's secure, if that makes any sense, and that you can create. We're in the represent us server.
Right.
Um,
Kind of focuses the conversation.
there, and then I have another server for porn, online reading role-playing game that I'm involved with. That's fun, actually. It's very simple. Doesn't suck my time like my other games. So, Cindy, have you contacted her yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've talked to you way more than I've talked to her.
Okay. She said she's willing to come over.
Yeah.
And I suggested maybe the next weekend we do one in King County.
Yeah.
Do a follow-up.
Yeah.
So we do one here on the 8th, and then we do one over there.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can do that. I haven't looked at my calendar for what's the 8th.
It's the next Saturday.
The-
So I think it's the 15th. I'm pulling the
15th.
calendar up right now. If I can remember my passcode.
Although I would be worried that people would say, "Oh, I'm not going to go to the one on the 8th. I'm just going to go to the one on the 15th." You know, I don't want to spend 2 weeks in a row. I think some people would say that.
I'm actually thinking, no. Is this 2019? Yeah. April, May. No, it's last year. Oh, June. I was looking for one. June, yeah.
June 15th is Father's Day.
Is that?
Oh, yeah,
The
and-
16th.
And I'm going, so a friend of mine, a friend's kid's having their first birthday.
Okay.
They're doing the camp out. So I'm not available on the 15th.
Well, we could push it out then.
Yep.
I'm organizing here. When I was getting my vape fixed today, I talked to the dude there and turned him onto the video, and he took information for me, and I told him the date, and he's a vet, and it's something that interests him.
Yeah.
So I'm promoting more over this community, and I used to do door-to-door sales, so I will just go knock on every house in the community and tell them about it.
Yeah.
And I have no problem doing that.
3 hot dogs. Come on.
Oh, no, we better get our Costco cards out.
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah, well, as we plan it out, the barbecue, the meat, you get to know your community.
Yeah.
But I have no problem door knocking.
Yeah. Awesome.
Not bashful at all.
Yeah.
Engaging in conversation with strangers. I do it, I talk about this with strangers at
Yeah.
work. This is all I talk about. Environmental crisis, and we need these people to help. Come on, motherfuckers, let's go. Excuse my French. You know what I'm saying? Let's just...
Wake up.
And when I dropped out after the Guard, I kind of came at this from the other angle, on the street side, with different subcultures and very grassroots. Some of them not so. Some of the groups now, like ELF or Eco-Terrorist. Well, I had a friend in ELF that served prison time, and I didn't get active with any of them, and I don't know why, but I saw it from the radical side of these
Yeah.
issues almost 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And it took that long for me to realize that to get any action, you need legitimate voices, like labor unions and sustainable developing groups.
You need a broad appeal, right?
Right.
Broad engagement.
Right. This is everybody. This is really not only a political movement, but just putting aside our differences.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's another. Everyone, let's talk.
Yeah.
And let's give everyone equal voice.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, let's get this indie, figure out a venue and something over there. We could even, if we pushed it to the following month, I might be able to arrange for someone to come in and talk to my 45 body at my labor union.
Mm-hmm. That might be, yeah.
Because part of my report is going to be we should get involved with that.
Mm-hmm.
Labor really needs exercise support.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I hope that some of that community would participate in some of these earlier meetings, so that I mean that's ideal, right? Just to get some sense of what it's all about.
Somebody of that community is participating in an early meeting.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yourself.
Myself.
Yeah.
Just like at this conference, I'm pretty sure I was the first voice of organized labor. And in one room, a guy asked me the same question, just like yours. He turned and looked at me and says, "What would it take to get labor involved in this?" And I said, "But the fact that I'm here, labor is now involved in this."
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
I'm almost vested, and by the time I'm supposed to be retiring, it's supposed to get really nasty environmentally wise, and I'd rather have the nasty I'm used to than a brand new nasty and another one coming a few years later.
Yeah.
It's going to take powerful voices to change this.
Mm-hmm.
And the people, really. It's just reminding the people that their voice matters. I was at an orientation for the school we're doing the site work on in Tacoma. And on their board up there had the most powerful voice in the world is the human voice. Use it wisely. Or carefully or something like that. I took a picture of it because it's important.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say thank you and we'll shut off the recording.
Okay.
I think we got a good spectrum of the conversation, and long videos don't necessarily work on YouTube. So, John, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.